Hello and welcome to Complete Carp. My name is Tom Schwem and today we're in the beautiful Dorset countryside. We're fishing one of the most famous lakes in Dorset, Todber Manor. We're fishing the biggest lake on the complex, which is Big Hayes, which is 9 acres. Big Hayes is brilliant stocking, with over 750 carp being £10 or above, a good few 120s and even the odd 30. So what we'll try and do today is get a few chunks of the bank to show you. In this video I'll be showing you tactics, tips and tackle you're going to be needing for carp fishing. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I do when I arrive at a venue now. So when I arrived here I took about half an hour just walking around the lake, trying to look for visual features, trying to look for fish jumping, just trying to see where I want to fish for the night. So what I done when I got here, I looked around and I saw this swim here and I saw a fish jump out top, obviously a certain sign straight away. I saw an island which I could just about reach, another certain sign, so visual signs. But also what I saw was a group of ducks trying to come into the swim, and then all of a sudden they spooked, which means to me that there's carp underneath the water that are in this swim that are spooking the ducks away, so they're going to be caught. We're into our first carp for the session. Okay, so here's our prize. But another thing when I do when I catch my fish is look where the hook's been hooked. So you look in its mouth, and as you can see, that is plumb bottom lip. Beautiful hooking. So all we've got to do is get the hook out safely, and then we'll hoist them up for some pictures. So there we have our prize, all £19, 8 ounces. What an absolute stunner. Complete carp. Show you the price. So there we have it, £17, 1 ounces. Look at the starburst scales, absolute stunner. This one thought like it was on steroids. So let's get her back. We'll show you the rigs that I used to catch this one and yesterday's, and the bait and approach. Right, so what a stunner. So we'll get her back now. Absolutely made up with that one. So now we're going to the rigs and the bait and approach. I used to catch them 2 beauties. Okay, so it's early morning now. Last night, bit of a disaster. Around 5 o'clock this morning, I had a little, about 30cm pike, little jack pike. Just threw him straight back. Didn't think it needed to be shown in film. But I'm getting my solid bags out now. I've got one about 40 yards out, fishing off an island, and got one in a real silty patch. I'll show you the baiting approach now and the rigs that I used to catch a 19-pound 8-ounce absolute stunner last night. Okay, so as luck would have it, I was about to show you my rigs and then my middle rod screamed off, the one on the solid bag to 40-yard range. It's the first common of the session. It's not the biggest fish, but it's definitely one of the most beautiful. So I'll hoist him up, weigh him in, and then I'll show you my rigs after. So there we have it, 16-pound 12 ounce. This is, I reckon, the most beautiful fish I've ever had at this lake. Just look at this, look at this. Look at that, look at the tail on that. Comes down to gold there, into the red fins. Absolute stunner. The mouth is just perfect. Huge mouth. Absolute beauty. Every scale's perfect. You cannot get many more fish nicer than that. Absolute stunner. Chuffed to bits to have this one. So let's get him back. And now, this time, I'll show you the rigs I used to catch him. So there we have him. One absolute stunner. Look at the belly on him. We're gonna get him back and show you the rigs. So there we have it. Back in the lake to fight another day. That fish around 45 pounds. Absolute fish of a lifetime. The rigs that I've used it for this, I've rare it up in size a bit. I'm using 10 mils, 15 mils, and even putting a bit of 18 mil out as freebies. What I've got here, I'm going to show you the rigs that I'm going to be using. We've still got about 8 hours left from the 24, so hopefully we'll get a few more on these rigs that I'm about to show you. Okay, so in this little clip, I'm just going to talk about the top half of my rig, which consists of the safe zone leader down to the leg clip system. What I've done here is just camoed everything in as I'll show you. So here's the top half of my rig. This is just a safe zone leader, and this is the silt coloured version. I'm fishing quite a big bit of silt, so this just camo in perfectly. As always, I've got my leg clip system. I'm not fishing inline today, fishing off this. All this stuff does obviously fish safety first. Fish gets snagged up, just lead just pulls out nice and easily, and there you go, fish is free. What I've got here with the lead, that's 2 1/4 ounces, just silty lead, absolutely just perfect for the camo. 2 1/4 can punch it out a nice bit away, just perfect lead for the job, perfect safe zone leader for the job, really camo, really nice, really carpy. So now I'll be talking about the hair rigs. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to rare it up a bit and use 2 different sizes of hook baits today. These are the rigs I'll be putting on them. What I've got here for my 10 mil rig is about 10 inches of Corda soft end trap coated braid. And all I've done down at this end is I've decoated about 4.5 inches. This is just for me to tie the hook on easy, and I've got about half an inch there, just between the shrink tube and the coated, just to make the hook a bit more lighter and make the hook point just turn over and catch hold a bit more easier. So what I've got here, a bit of shrink tube. This is just kinked right in, just to make the hook turn a bit more aggressively right into the bottom lip of the carp. Moving down on the hook, I've got a Corda wide gape, size 8 here. Perfect for the job here, perfect for this sort of venue. Absolute pure confidence in these hooks. Do the job for me anywhere, absolutely love these. Moving down, I'm using a blowback style rig. So I've got my rig ring just on the curve of the hook. Just tie this on, normal granny knot. Just helps the hook turn and catch hold. And with this rig, it just tends to go in the bottom lip all of the time. It'll just bang in the bottom lip over and over again. And like I said, with my hook baits, what I'm using is 10 mils. These are 10 mil CC More live systems. And I don't know if you can see, but here I've tipped it off with a bit of white imitation of a bit of plastic corn. This is white, just raring up a bit. It seems to be working well at the moment, so I'll keep on this. This rig's done really well for me. Before I'll put it out there, I'll test, see if it catches hold in my hand, put it in the margin, seems to camera in really, really well. So this is the small rig that I'm using today. It's a bit of bait around it, it looks absolutely perfect. Won't be able to detect that, so seems to be working really well. So I'll wang out there, and now I'll show you my 15mm rig that I'm using. Okay, so like I said, I'm rearing up a bit, and here's my 15mm rig. What I've got here is I'm not using a soft end trap, I'm using a supernatural braid straight down to the hook length. I put a couple of sinks on there just to keep it nice and pinned down. What I'm using is pretty much the same. Got my shrink tube kinked in, right in, just to make the hook lighter and catch hold a bit. Same blowback rig, but what I've done is a bit different on the bait. I've got my 15mm CC More live system here, and what I've done is chop the end off, just so the imitation of the corn can sit in really nicely. Also, I've just chopped another bit off there. This is just purely, I've been looking around talking to the other anglers, and they're using just standard boilies, just standard circles. And what I'm doing is this is just making it a bit more different from the other anglers, so the carp might not think it's an angler's bait, and then they might be more inclined to pick it up. Same again with the hooking arrangement. What I've got is the quarter size 8 wire gape hook. Great confidence in this. I've got great confidence in both of these rigs. Trying to vary the size a bit. So these are what seems to be getting me the bites. See if you can take these rigs into your fishing, and maybe you can have some luck too. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the most important thing, which is what bait are you going to use? So my baiting approach today has been these solid bags. I've had a few reports, and I've been on the phone to a few people, and they say solid bags work well here. So I'm not going to ignore their advice, and I'm going to go with solid bags. So I'm going to show you what I put in my solid bag mix. My base of my solid bag mix is a CC More Mini Ultra Mix. In here, what we've got, all the betaine pellets, all the coarse pellets, got loads of oils in there, loads of different sizes. Perfect for a good base of your PVA bags. Works well, you can just go perfect. Get a little scooper, just work your bags with. Everything about it is just perfect for solid bags. Then all I've been doing is getting my boilie range in. So what I've got here, 10mm cell, 15mm cell, live system. With these, I'm going a few whole ones, so a bit of hole there. And I've been also crushing a few up in my bag. So I'm going to get nice and crushed all in the bag. And it's looking perfect in there. So I've got a nice mix. So the fish will be attracting, they'll get their half boilies, then they'll get the full ones, and I'll keep picking them up. And I did have some 10mm CC More I was catching my fish on. But also I've got these as well. 10mm baits. Absolutely perfect. They're tiny, but God, the fish love them. They're like gold dust, these. Perfect. I wouldn't crush these up though, and I wouldn't use many of these in my solid bags. So I like using these as hook makes so much. So I wouldn't use so many of them, but I'd still stick a few in. Just for a bit of exercises, so they don't know what they're going to pick up next really. Just if they want one, they can have one. And if they pick up a 15mm, they can have the 15mm. If they pick up a 10mm, they don't know what the hook bait's going to be. Keep them guessing. Moving along, I haven't been using this, but I thought I'd mention it. This is the particle. This is the party mix. And as you can see, all that stuff in there. We've got sweet corn, we've got hemp, we've got bird seeds, absolutely everything. Attracting carp from miles with this. I'll put a bit of oil into this as well, so if I did need it, I could go in my bags. But this stuff is absolutely brilliant for any lake. You can use it to base your spod mix as well. Absolutely brilliant. Loads of stuff in there, loads of carpy stuff. The chili one as well is brilliant. Chili, carp love chili. Perfect. To go with this, I've gone for the new goo as well. PVA friendly. It does work well, but I have noticed if you make your bags a bit early and then you put your then you put the goo on, it does start to dissolve a bit. So what I'll do is just before I cast out or before I finish the bag and I know it's going to go out straight away, I'll put the goo in. If not, I'm going to get my bags all ready. I'll put it just on the outside and it still works perfect. Absolutely brilliant. I've got the pineapple power smoke here, $11.99. maybe a bit dear, but trust me, it's worth it. I think all my bites today have been down to this stuff in my PVA bag. Definitely recommend this. Also been glugging my baits a bit. Been glugging the 10 mils, 15 mils. This is the sensor stuff. And the reason why I chose this is because I don't think many people will use it. But that's a change because I'm using it. I don't think the fish will be used to using this sort of stuff. It's a real fish meal smell, which fish love, obviously. Really potent stuff. I'd definitely stick that and glug your baits in that. And all we have now, just a bit bigger pellets. I've just been throwing a few of these in. These are really oily. Because obviously in the winter you don't use the oily pellets because it won't give off that much. But as we're getting in near the spring now, I'll start using these again. Brilliant stuff, especially in your PVA bags. Perfect. So I'll just show you how to tie a PVA bag in a minute. And hopefully we'll have a bite before then to show you. Okay, so like I said, my baiting approach today is solid PVA bags. So now I'm going to show you how I make mine. Firstly, I start off with all these pellets. This is just my base. So all I do, I'm going to go 2 scoops of pellets go in. So you have the little base. That looks quite full, but all we'll do after that, just push it right down. Push it all the way down, so it's real compact. Now I'm going to put the boilies in. A few of these 10 mils go in. Just a few, like I said, because these are like gold dust, so I don't really use these. And I use the big ones, and I chop these ones up. So a few chopped big ones go in. And then I'll compress it down again. So all the time we're getting it really compact. You don't have no air in there, you want it really compact. Okay, so now I'm going to put another layer on. So what I'm doing this is I'm doing it in layers. So I'm putting my next layer on, which is about half a scoop more pellets. And press it down again. So the base of it is the pellet mix, but a lot of it's pellets. Now I'm going to put the power smoke go in. So you don't need much of this stuff because it's brilliant and it will last you a few sessions. Just a bit of that goes in, not too much, just a decent squeeze do you there. But I don't like having that at the top because after about 5 minutes it will dissolve the bag. So a bit of CC more goes in and I'll put them in the hole. But as my hook bait I'm going to be using over this bag is mainline cell. So obviously the majority of the boilies are going to be mainline cell because no point putting bait out if you're not going to fish with that bait. So a few whole and a few crushed, more cell go in there. And now just to add the extra attraction at the top are big betaine pellets. So we've got 1 or 2 of them in there. Right, so this bag now is real solid, so you've got to keep pressing down again once more time. So there you go, you see it really pressed down with all the bait in there. And I'm going to now squeeze it at the top and squeeze it and just pat it down on your thing, pat it down on your trousers so it gets down. And then that's really compact. So what we'll do is turn it a few times, lick the end, put it down like so. And then what we're going to do is push in the corners. Push them in so it gets a bit of air, pull them back out, push it in again, put it back out so you see there's a bit of corner. Then what we're going to do, lick the corners and fold it over. All this is doing is make it more compact. Same with that corner. Push it in, bring it back out, lick it, do it over. And that is my solid bag. Really packed, full of goodness. Looks like there's a lot of pellets in there, but also we've got the boilies in between, we've got the goo in there as well. Really compact And now I'm going to show you how I put it on my rigs. You have your stringing needle, and all I'm going to do is place it straight through the PVA bag, all the way through, in one end out the other. Then what I've got to do is my knot at the end of my rig, same share rig, and all I do is place the needle through there, and I'm going to place it on like an actual bait, place it through, pull it through, all the way through the bag like so. Then you put your silicone back on, your hook length, place your hook length, place the knot back on the quick link like so. Get your silicone back up, and that's it, ready to cast. So now I'll show you me casting the PVA bag. Okay, so I'm just going to cast my bag now, back out to the same spot. Haven't got this one clipped up, so I'll just stop the line and then feel it down. So here we go. There you go, felt the doink. That's back out on the spot. Hopefully I'll get some more bites. Okay, into our last fish of the session. This could be our last one. Fighting real hard. The wind's blowing an absolute hoolie. So let's get him in and we'll show you the prize. The cool complete carp, but here we have it, 20 pound, 1 ounce of moggy. Absolute beautiful condition, this one. I'm actually really made up. I thought it was a carp all the way in, come to the surface, but I'm well chuffed with this one. We thought it was all over. It is now. 21 pound, 9 ounces, pure muscle. Chuffed to bits with this one. Absolutely chuffed to bits. So let's get him back and join us again. Let me say the line. Come on, baby. Let me say it. And join us again for another series of complete carp. Okay, so I'm quite chuffed with my session today. I've had 5 bites and I'd only lost 1, but still quite disappointed about that, but still chuffed with the session overall. I thought we was going to finish on the 20 pound catty, and then we got the 21 pounder. We was all after in that show, so I hope you take the tactics, tips and tackle I've used today and see if you can take them shore fishing and get some more chunks on the bank. So join us again for another series of complete carp. Well, I thought it was all lit. You must have thought it was all lit. Then this little beauty rolled off, 16 pound, 10 ounce. And look at that side. That side is absolutely immaculate. Absolute beauty. So we'll get him back and join us again for another series of complete carp.